Next, the activist group Just Stop Oil has been protesting on the streets of London for a few weeks now, throwing paint on buildings and blocking roads. It wants the government to stop fossil fuel contracts in this climate crisis and that they're not going to stop protesting. Well, a month on, our environment correspondent Tom Edwards questions them on their tactics and speaks to the Met, which has spent thousands of hours policing the protests.
Over the last month, they've blocked roads, thrown soup at works of art and sprayed buildings and caused disruption for many Londoners. What do you say to people who say you are just wasting police time with all these protests, blocking roads, spraying buildings, that kind of thing?
I say to those people they should spend a bit more time doing some research. The science is very clear. We're at a pivotal point in history and we all need to start acting.
They could be out in the communities stopping burglaries, stopping muggings. Do you regret that you're shifting police work from one place to another?
It's unfortunate that we need to do this, but the police, their main role is to serve and protect the people. Climate crisis is the biggest threat to law and order.
Isn't the risk that you lose support from Londoners?
We don't actually need support. We just need the government to act. And if more people joined us, we could do that quicker.
Shouldn't you really be targeting policymakers, governments, the people who make these big decisions, not the general public?
Oh, we've tried that plenty of times and it just doesn't get the airtime.
So this is about publicity?
It's about we want to stop talking about tactics, superglue and soup, and we want to talk about action.
The group Just Stop Oil use social media to publicise their protest, the main aim to raise awareness of their cause. They want the government to stop new oil and gas projects. Previously, other groups like Extinction Rebellion and Insulate Britain have all targeted London. Since October the 1st, the Met say they have arrested 672 protesters, mainly for criminal damage and obstructing the highway, and they have used 9,100 officer shifts to police Just Stop Oil. Some say, though, that the police don't act quickly enough.
It isn't just around arresting people and dragging them off, it's around delivering successful prosecutions and bringing these offenders to justice. And for that we need to prove the offence, so to show that there's an obstruction, that it's deliberate, that it's unlawful, and in the context of protest unreasonable. So that takes a short amount of time, and of course viewers will understand that where people have glued themselves to the road or they've locked themselves onto each other with complex devices, that does take an amount of time.
Will there be more protests in London?
We won't be stopping until the government say no to new oil licensing. It's actually up to the government, not to us, to end this.
The Met wants Just Stop Oil to engage with them, but there's no sign these protests are over. Tom Edwards, BBC London.